Welcome to our podcast, episode 116 on piracy. So, going to talk about piracy. I didn't know whether this would be more of a to be human one or an our podcast one, but I guess I'll just cover this one in the our podcast. Some topics inevitably can be used for either podcast, but you know, I think this one probably can be better, I guess, for our podcast, I guess. Anyway, piracy, stealing stuff, movies, video games, TV shows, whatever, you know, stealing stuff without paying for it. Um, you know, you know, that's a point where you've probably watched something that was pirated at some point, like you know where you actively searched it out or just like saw it on accidents, like you were just scrolling through and like saw I don't know, an example, like you saw an episode of, I don't know, Family Guy. That's a good example. There's plenty of those on, like, I think YouTube, um, re-uploads of like full episodes. Like, um, so yeah, like you saw and you were like, did I really have the full episode here on YouTube? And then you watch it and it's like, oh yeah, it's actually the full episode. Like, so, you wouldn't expect that at first, but once you've seen it, it's like, oh, wow, look, how are they getting away with it? You know, so, yeah, you know, probably shouldn't, but they're getting away with it. But yeah, so piracy not that great. You don't want stuff being stolen. And it's better to pay you know whatever the artists although with more streaming services coming out, who knows if it's going to the artists, directly anymore. You know, you know. I mean, they're probably some of them, get paid, but who knows? It's a very complicated world. All the copyrights and yeah, it becomes like just a mind boggle of a thing. So yeah, it's safe to say don't pirate stuff. Don't steal stuff. Maybe actually pay for the stuff. I know sucks to sometimes pay for multiple subscriptions, but you know um um you know sometimes you just gotta go you know through that pain. So yeah, you know at least piracy is less of a problem now, especially here in Australia. Like there's very like heavy you know laws here. Like you can't get anything for free here in Australia. You know, you know, which kind of sucks when I do. Want potentially watch something like I'll watch this thing. Can't watch this thing because, you know, Australian government, cracks down on, any sites. It's like, I just want to have a peek. I just want to see. And it's like, nope. Or there's definitely ways around it. Not by, would, I don't know if VPNs work or not. Because I don't own a VPN. But I know a video game that, negates that fact. Of all things that could, break the barrier, it's a video game. You know, I don't want to mention, the video game just because I know, like, immediately it's going to be like, what's a video game? How is it breaking it? Because, that's never going to cost the video game, even if I don't always agree with the decisions of the video game. Should I just mention it? I mean, on one hand, I like the game. On the other hand, the people running it sometimes, haven't made the best decisions, and even the technically good decisions usually don't solve the problem for too long. I might as well just mention at this point, just so, you know, I don't get in trouble. It's VR chat. You should have known if you know about VR chat, because there's those worlds where you can, watch movies and TV shows. It's VR chat. And the VR chat is the bypass. I feel like VPN would also work, but yeah. I mean, VPN can be used on, other things, actual things you're paying for, like, Netflix, to unlock content you can't usually see, you know. But why don't they just allow us to see? It's probably, yeah, again, copyright stuff, but still, there's stuff you can't watch on, Netflix, in Australia compared to, other countries. Like, for the longest time, and it was very odd, JoJo Part 5 wasn't on Netflix here in Australia. But there was part 1 to 4 and there was part 6. I was able to, watch, part 6, perfectly fine as it aired. You know, but part 5 was, Golden Wind, Giovanna, was just mysteriously missing. And it was just bizarre. A bizarre adventure, you could just say. That's gotta be one of the worst puns I've done. But hey, it's JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. I had to. If I didn't, it'd be wrong. But yeah. Either way, don't do piracy, I guess. Buy a VPN if you really want to see content you can't. You know, or play VR chat. That's a free alternative. VR chat's free. You don't need VR for VR chat. Yeah, again, people still don't know you don't need VR for VR chat. And it's like, god damn it. So many YouTubers I watch, well, not so many, but I do see it, frequently enough that annoys the hell out of me. Um, that people will be like, the VR chat, but you need VR, and it's like you don't need VR for VR chat. Also, VR chat, you free. You can play VR chat without VR, and it's free. You don't need to spend a cent. All you need is a computer, you know, and that's it. And plus, VR chat is be starting to come to phones, so you know it's only a matter of time before you know all phones have VR chat as well. So you know that's even less of an excuse to you know not um you know uh play VR chat. I bet the reason why they have it on, putting it on phones is so eventually they can have, you know, ads like, because, phone games always tend to have ads, and, you know, I feel like the VR chat phone version will have ads just to start, breaking that barrier little by little. So people's, worst fear that ads may come to VR chat may eventually become true. But I also feel like on the positive side, with VR chat coming to phones, it's very possible they may also eventually, put VR chat on consoles. So, you know, and by that point, there will be even less of an excuse for, not to play VR chat, it's free, it's everywhere. Although, the, you'll have a fair excuse once the ads start to show up, you know. Inevitably, sooner or later, I feel like they're gonna pop up somewhere. They're gonna infest VR chat one way or another. You know, it's only a matter of time. But yeah. Anyway, more of today's episode, don't do piracy. You know, if you really want to watch something, there's probably an alternative somewhere. You know, you know, I can't stop you. You know, but yeah, just don't, steal stuff. I suppose. Yeah. But anyway, that's it for this our podcast. Until next time, peace and thank you and goodbye.